good evening, and welcome to episode number 6 of the second season of the Kerfuffle podcast, filmed live from Lockdown HQ here in the Mintz household. We are being joined by 3 fantastic guests this evening, all beaming massive positivity. But before we hear from them, let's hear from Mr. Simon Whale himself from Whale HQ. He's been in self-isolation for the past few days, but he's been following the Rightmove news, and he's got some news for you.
Afternoon, David. Hope you're well. Today's got to be really called the good, the bad and the ugly, I think. The good has been the reaction from some of the suppliers within the industry to... I don't think they were doing it intentionally because of Rightmove's slight snafu yesterday. I think they're doing it for the best intentions. But there's straight away today, the Guild came out with its own deal, 50% off for its members, half price. Very laudable there. So well done to Ian McKenzie and John Cook there for really getting right to it and supporting their members. Really forward thinking there. Kevin Ellis from Land and New Homes has done likewise for a 3-month period, I believe, and that's amazing. Really, a network like Land and New Homes has to be supported. They are doing so much for agents, and if from all the agents I've been talking to, if there's going to be one way out of this when this starts to recover, they definitely see New Homes as being one of the main ways of doing that. So I would urge anybody to get in contact with those guys there. I know it might not feel like it's top of your list now, but in all honesty, the preparation now will sort you in good stead when it comes out. I've also heard good things about Spectre. I've heard them actually proactively phoning some agents and giving special deals there. I don't think I'm missing anybody there. Oh, sorry. And then the big news as well. Unless my jungle drums are wrong, ZPG is going to be giving Zoopla 3 months off to members as well, which is fantastic. And I think probably what most people are saying is what they expected, what they wanted from Rightmove in the first place. So ZPG have certainly stepped up there, and big hats off to them for having done that. I think just as a separate thing, David, I mean, I do bang on about this, and apologies for the many people that will have heard this, but it is this difference I keep coming back to, that you are either a supplier to this industry. Sorry, that was just like Donald Trump's sort of big hands then. You're either a supplier to this industry, or you're a partner in it and with your agents. And I think those companies today are really demonstrating which side of the fence they are. We're trying to talk to everybody in our wanky term though it is supplier ecosystem, and we're trying to encourage all of our member firms on Kerfuffle to see what they can do for clients. Try and take a long-term view. We know you guys aren't going to have readies to be spending huge amounts of cash on sort of stuff now, so take the approach that goodwill invested now will be paid back later. Much akin to the kind of what's going on with restaurants and local businesses. Buy the tokens now, buy the gift vouchers now, so that you support those suppliers. But that will then lead to business going down the road. So again, I think it's good to see. This is one of the positive news stories. The bad news story I've just got to say is it's still up in the air. There's still huge amount of bad feeling. I've taken, I think, almost 200 calls today from a mixture of people, but predominantly people asking Kerfuffle to get involved with Rightmove and see where that's going. All I can say is we've reached out to let them know that we would be happy to be intermediaries. Obviously, they do have a policy of not talking collectively, but I think it's in everyone's interest that we try and get this done if we can. If anyone's interested in riding on the back of that, please drop us a line back anywhere in the normal methods back to Kerfuffle, and we'll keep anyone updated. And that's true of any suppliers as well. We're happy to get involved there and try and negotiate for the best possible result for both parties. I do try and obviously have a balancing act here to make it work for both sides of the equation. And then I suppose the ugly is it's obviously it's still not getting any easier out there, is it? I've spoken, as I said, to a few people, and already I think the key thing is after 2008 is that they probably learnt from that recession was that they stayed too long for making the hard decisions, and that's certainly not the case now. Certainly not the way that it's fallen off the side of a cliff. So unfortunately, people are obviously having those conversations with their staff. Some of those staff are being laid off. Obviously, they're being told that they can't, that, you know, that they obviously don't want to do it, and they'll obviously try and re-employ them there if they can do, when and if things pick up. But that does mean we are now unfortunately starting to see the sorry sight of obviously job losses. Guys, if anyone has been made unemployed, you know, there's always stuff going on. So that we have some exceptional recruitment agents on our site on Kerfuffle here. So this is for any of you as well, and we're happy to try and give any support where we can do. So David, it's all bubbling along. There are, as you'd expect from this, there's some unintended consequences, and I'm sure from your point of view, you're even closer to the agent side of things than anything. In answer to the question yesterday, David, which I know is going to be bugging people, we did find a story that found out which was the part of the country that eats 3 times more portions than anywhere else, than the healthy portion you're meant to. It was surprisingly, David, not the northeast, you bigoted racist towards Newcastle, and it wasn't even Manchester where we reside. No, it was the Midlands. So the Brummies are putting too much on your plate. So just cut back, guys. I appreciate that's like Fred West telling Harold Shipman to sort it out, lad. You're a bit out of order, but it is what it is. Anyway, stay safe, everybody. Love you, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Ta-ra.
Thanks for that, Simon. I know that you've been having some loads of feedback to the Daily Whale. Love that. Daily Whaley that's going out to everybody every day, asking for your feedback on the latest events. And again, today focusing mostly on Rightmove. One of the best comments that I've seen today that kind of sums up the spirit out there amongst the agents is that from one of your pals, Nick Cheshire. It was as welcome as a fart in a lift. And that was his response to the Rightmove derisory offer that they made agents just the other day. In all seriousness, they had an opportunity to turn haters into fans, fans into bigger fans, and really earn respect. Instead, they've come to my house, shat on the front lawn, just like that scene out of Me, Myself and Irene, and fucked off whilst waving goodbye, shouting good luck. And again, that, as funny as it is and as amusing as it is, really sort of sums up the spirit out there amongst the agents. Loads and loads of Facebook groups being formed, WhatsApp groups, the email chains that go on forever. I have seen copies of emails where agents have given notice en masse to Rightmove. There's a real sort of anger out there. And if Rightmove don't respond quickly and soon, they're going to lose that audience altogether. If agents are motivated, then they will get that message across to their customers. And once the customer base starts to understand that Rightmove is no longer synonymous with buying a house, then we start to change the whole way of thinking in an industry, and we start to bring them different products. And this could be very, very dangerous time for Rightmove. Their share price is only going in one direction at the moment. So if you follow this story, it will tell you a lot about the way that our industry is capable of coming together if they all want the same thing. So this is absolutely fantastic. But there are some amazing things going on out there today. I, for one, managed to buy my mum 18 rolls of toilet paper, and she's not had a shit for a week. So that's actually probably my best Mother's Day gift that I've ever bought, ever. I got some hand sanitizer as well. I'm not giving her that, though. She doesn't deserve that. She probably won't make it anyway. She's over a certain age. But there is some massive positivity out there, huge amounts of positivity, and we're going to hear from some of the industry's greats. And so we're going to start with Andy Overman, who joins us from a rival podcast. He's finally made it on to a decent podcast. Andy, welcome to the best podcast in the UK, talking to the property industry. Let us know what you've got to say.
Hey Whaley, Mintz, hope you're doing well, and really appreciate you inviting me onto the Kerfuffle podcast. Thought you'd never ask. I genuinely hope you're going to edit this bit so that I appear between Mintz and Whaley, because I don't think there'd be any better sandwich. So we're talking about Corona. For me, positivity is key. Tom Panos said it, your current situation is not your final destination. Difficult, challenging times, yes. Huge decisions being made, business owners looking after the business, but also with, huge degrees of compassion and loyalty towards staff that have served them for many, many years. My colleagues are worried, my friend, our colleagues are our friends, aren't they? So, we're in a very, very new landscape. It's a difficult landscape. Loved the story yesterday, guys, on Rightmove. David, I think you got it absolutely right. I mean, what an absolutely abhorrent way to treat your customer base. All of the account managers have been coming around with this new touchy, feely. We really, we're in it with you. We want to help you kind of stance that Rightmove have realised that they were completely disengaged with their client base sort of 8, 9, 10, 12 months ago, and they've been putting these things in place. They had a golden opportunity to come in on that white horse and sort of save the day and reignite passion and confidence in them. Absolutely shot themselves in the fucking foot, didn't they? It was just sick. Christian Byfield, obviously, quit today. Lovely open letter. Read that today. Thought it was absolutely spot on. I think Simon Ward's another one. A couple of officers, outfit, noticing today. Not, didn't need to, but just based on their attitude. So, I hope lots of other business owners follow suit. It could be the turning point. Just ridiculous. You're seeing so many kind offers from other suppliers, like your guys at Homesearch, opening up free reports to, give channels of communication and an open door policy to more customers. I think that's exactly the right thing to do. It brings me nicely onto my next point. You said what we're doing in spite of the coronavirus, there's less viewings, less valuations. Appreciate that. We've got a pipeline to manage. We've got to get that money banked. But for me, it's just absolutely fully submersing myself in the community that I serve. Seen some great examples of that recently. Sean Adams, Oliver James, David, yourself. It's all about community engagement, but it's without the expectation or the branding or trying to get something back. It is genuinely, hey guys, there's a shitstorm going on at the moment and we're in it with you. So it's providing help. Jerry Lyons, excellent with the home tutoring group. Jerry's the obviously copywriter you've had on before. Absolutely legendary guy with awesome hair. And he got some VO5 today. I got a video. So for me, it's all about, absolutely immerse yourselves in the communities that you serve. Second thing I see definitely doing is looking at systems and processes and training. Absolutely every day, pick apart the processes or systems you use in the business, dissect them, reconvene later at the point in the day. What's working, what isn't, how can we make that look like excellent, and how is it very, very average or unsatisfactory? Pull it apart, rebuild it, reframe it. New operations manual, and that was courtesy of Stephen Brown earlier, who's giving a lot of his time to help agents at the moment as well. The final thing I'd say is just be kind. It's a really awful time for a lot of people. My 7-year-old daughter came to me last night saying, I don't want you, mummy, or Leia May to die before you're old because of coronavirus. That was hard hitting. It had me in tears. I'm lucky enough to be able to reach out to a friend network. And Stephen was great last night. I was in a very difficult place, as I'm sure a lot of parents are, a lot of business owners are. So just be fucking kind. And the thing that Sam Hunter brought home to me is he's phoning 10 people a day, 10 people that he cares about. And he wants to stay in touch and check in with them. So phone your 5, 10 people a day, check in with them, make sure they're okay, and we will get this through this together. Really appreciate the opportunity of appearing, guys, and hopefully next time it will be under better circumstances and it'll be in that flash studio that you've got that we don't have. Take care, guys. All the best. Be kind.
Thank you, Andy. And again, Andy has touched on that story there with Rightmove, but also highlights the massively positive stuff that you can be doing during this period, and the sort of reaching out to people and, talking to the best in the industry. Talking of the best in the industry, we are now joined by somebody that is very highly respected for his video content. In fact, he is leading the way with all sorts of video content and his community engagement. In fact, much of the community engagement that my company, Normie & Company, engages with is all down to people like Oliver and Oliver Press of Oliver James, who joins us now. Oliver, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Thank you, David, and Simon. I appreciate the chance to talk to you today. Obviously there's so much negativity going around everywhere you look, especially on social media. But at the end of the day, it's our choice whether we choose to be negative or choose to be positive. And it's very easy to get weighed up in it. And, you get down very, very quickly. But you've got to flip that around and see where we can make it work for ourselves and on our businesses as well. So it just starts with little things like a positive post on your Facebook page every day. I've also started doing like funny memes about the coronavirus, and they get shared 10, 15, 20 times. People want to laugh, people want to see good news. So you've got to turn that negativity and positivity straight around. Now, in regards to the estate agency side of the business, everything I do, I don't expect results the next day, all the prospecting we do. So if I do a valuation today, I'm not necessarily going to get it tomorrow. I might get that in 6 months, 12 months time. And you've got to see this corona outbreak as exactly the same. Apart from we're not getting any viewings at the moment, or less, and we're not getting as many valuations at the moment. So what can I do with my time? So you've got to root yourself within the community and prospect and do that with a good heart so people can see it's actually with a good heart as well. So I've been doing a lot of community work. Instead of doing my viewings and valuations, I started a COVID-19 group which has got over 3,000 people in, and I'm just giving them tips and advice and sharing all good things and helping. And I know Jerry Lyons has given me an idea today called Errand Hour, because there's going to be a lot of elderly people that can't get out there. So help them, help people, do it with a good heart. And then in 6 to 9 months, like I normally would from normal prospecting, I'm going to see the rewards of that. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not going to sit around and be miserable and look through the window on my office or on my phone and, down and think I'm not going to ring anyone today or nobody's going to ring me. It's for me to make things happen and to make it work. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going out there within our community. I'm speaking to local businesses, speaking to local councillors, speaking to schools, everything like that. For example, today, I found some activity books we had left over from our Santa's grotto. And I just put a quick post on Facebook saying, I've got some activity books. Obviously, the kids are off school. Come and get one free. And that video, within a space of 2-3 hours, being viewed 3,000 times and had about 20 shares. Feel free to add me as a friend and you're welcome to copy any of the stuff I'm doing. That's no problem at all. So root yourself in the community, get that work going. Positivity, there's always positive with everything we do, but you've got to look at the long picture. This is not going to be forever, it's just going to be now, and we've got to change that. So we're doing things like that, help out as best you can, but there's always positives. Today, look, I'm home and I'm in my girls' playroom. There's a little painting on the wall, and I got to put my kids to bed today. So that put me a great smile on my face, and that's what I've taken out of today. Is I've helped the community. A lot of people saying a lot of positive things about myself and my agency because I've done something from the heart and been good, and I've put my children to bed. It's been great. What a great day, and I look forward to tomorrow and thinking of some new ideas I could come up with. A quick note on Rightmove, because David's asked me to just give my thoughts on that. So very quickly, obviously Rightmove is now spelled WRONGMOVE, as in wrong move. Obviously they were best to do nothing, and hopefully they're going to change the way they do things to get the estate agents back on time. So thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon, David. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Oliver, coming to us live from the Pink Palace there. Thanks for those tips and bits of inspiration. Again, some absolutely positive stuff that people are engaging with in the face of Corona in their communities. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, I lied to you earlier. I said we were going to have 3 guests. In actual fact, we have a 4th. And we're going to squeeze him in just now because it's his birthday. So we're going to hear from our Australian friend, Mr. Sam Hunter of Homesearch. He's got a little message of positivity, and I think it's one that we'll all take to heart. Here you go.
It still feels weird staring into your phone and talking at it and not really knowing what you're going to say. But for the boys at the Kerfuffle podcast and the wider industry, it's the night of the 19th of March. I would say today was a largely positive day. Aside from being my birthday, we spoke to a number of estate agents, other suppliers as well. It seems like that it is an industry that is rallying behind each other and mobilizing. I don't know if I want to compare it to war, but it's a nationwide effort of kindness, compassion, positivity, empathy, and just, I guess, instilling a sense of community amongst one another. I won't say that it was unexpected because I'm forever surprised by the just level that people actually get along in this industry, and I think you're going to see that exemplified over the next few weeks. It's going to be tough, but today was a better day than yesterday. I think for some people a bit of the shock wore off and they sort of, I wouldn't say got back to business, but certainly started thinking about what they can be doing activity-wise to keep themselves in best stead. On top of that, I got a lovely video from David Mintz and his family singing me happy birthday, so that was a good way to end the day. Thank you to you boys for what you're doing. Keep it up. I'm sure you guys know that your voice is heard amongst a lot of people and it makes a big difference. So yeah, from me to you and your listeners or your viewers, thanks. Good luck with everything in the future, and if we can help at all, sing out, because I'm sure me and a load of the other people in the industry are more than willing to be there for anyone who needs it.
Sam Hunter, everybody, and his company Homesearch have led the way with a very generous offer to agents. They've really sort of reached out to try and help, and the sort of reports that they help agents generate are capable of community engagement as well, because you can keep in touch with your vendors, give them market updates. You're going to need some information to talk to your vendors about over the coming weeks, especially if there is a more suppressed period in the market. So definitely look up Homesearch and reach out to Sam. Really contactable, always got something positive to say, and I can tell you that Sam is living by his mantra of reaching out to people. So he's trying to sort of call 5 to 10 people a day, and I was lucky enough to be one of those people. So that's awesome. Now, one of the people that I've come across in the course of my work is Mr. Neil Giller, or as he's known to his pals, Nelly. Nelly is somebody that absolutely radiates positivity and is well known speaker on the BNI circuit, and he's got a company called Stuff the Rest, and he's awesome. So take heed of what Brother Nelly has to say to you all.
How you doing, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, family and friends? I've got to start off by saying that I'm absolutely, truly honoured that I received a phone call from David Mintz from Normie and Company. Now, we've never met, but we've had conversations, we've done business before. And I'd like to start this off by turning around and saying that my outlook on life is it's your choice when you wake up in the morning. You can be a radiator or a drain. There was a terminology that was used the other day when it was talking about drains. You can either watch Dead Enders or Procrastination Street. You see, I don't watch all of that. It's not for me to watch all of that. It brings you down. So if you're a radiator, you're constantly putting good things out. So massive props to David for being one of those radiators in life. I think he asked me to come on and give a little bit of positivity about what's going on. And to be honest, the word that I'm looking at the moment, and the word that I feel, is surreal. I kind of feel like I'm in a film at the moment. And I'm pretty sure that there's other people out there as well. You know, there's livelihoods, there's mortgages, there's wages, there's staff, there's overheads. You know, these are all things that we have to think about to keep ourselves alive. Not toilet paper, not hand sanitizer, not washing your hands whilst singing happy birthday to yourself twice, you know. And that for me is kind of the surreal part to it, because the propaganda and the white noise out there, I can't quite decipher who it is I've got to listen to. You know, you've got all these powers standing up telling you what to do, how to do it. Then you've got all the rumours, and you know, all the tanks are coming in and they're going to lock us down, and it's all gloom and doom. So, you know, I'm not making light of it. There's a lovely saying, that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and I know that that's probably not the best quote to use, but I think we've got to stand together. And, you know, I'm talking a lot about communities at the moment. And for me, communities, i.e. the people around you, the people who have always been there for you, but your neighbours, you know, those people that you don't talk to, the people that you walk by on the street. I've noticed, you know, not in the supermarkets, obviously, but the people being nice to each other. You know, why does it take something like this for people to be nice? Well, because people aren't nice generally. I don't get it. I think what we've got to do is we've got to look after and hope that human nature survives. Not hope, we've got to know. But it starts with us, right? So if you're walking out and you're gloom and doom, I'm not making light of the situation. You know, I'm probably as scared as many, suffering with anxiety, but I'm going to be all right. I've got friends, I've got family, and for the time being, or whatever, even if, you know, God forbid I get ill, be all right. We've got a fantastic NHS. It's the way you look at life. You know, my mum's got a lovely saying, you can always bend down and pick up nothing. I'm not going to explain that. But you have a choice. You've got to wake up in the morning and be positive, a radiator, or you've got to wake up in the morning and be a drain. You know that kind of person. You know, if you ask them how you're doing, you're going to be sitting there for the next half an hour wondering why you asked them that question. You know, do what you can. Don't give so much of yourself, but give enough of yourself. You know, I was asked to come in here and give some positivity, and I hope that I've done that. I really, really do. I wasn't given a definition of how long or what to talk about, but I think the main crux here is don't listen to the propaganda, don't listen to the white noise, because you're just sitting there listening to it and it's just aggravating. Look after the elderly. You know, these people are important, and if they're getting angry being stuck inside, you know, this is to look after the NHS. They don't need the extra aggravation of the elderly getting ill. And on that note, I actually want to finish off with one of my favourite comedians. Now, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he was a wonderful wordsmith as well. So I'm going to finish off with this, if you don't mind, just to prove I can read more than anything else. So, smiling is infectious by Spike Milligan. Excuse me whilst I read it. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realised I had passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then I realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel round the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic quick and get the world infected. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, look after yourselves, please. And remember, you have a choice when you wake up in the morning. Be a radiator or be a drain. My name's Neil Giller. I'm from a company called Stuff the Rest, where our prime objective is to help our clients glow online and offline. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, look after each other. Be well.
Well, that's all we've got time for on today's episode of the Kerfuffle podcast. We will be covering more news, but again, today our mission was to try and bring you the good, the bad, and the immensely positive that is going on in our industry right now. We are a fantastic community, and that has been reiterated by absolutely everybody that we've heard from today. So pull together, stay together, keep safe, and be healthy. See you soon.